All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
Hello and welcome to our Tuesday night episode of Jock Talk. So I am joined today by my man Trey down there. How you doing, Trey?
It's been a crazy day. But I'm ready to hear. I'm right here. Yeah, I'm ready to talk some sports, man. Let's get into it.
All right. And then we're also joined by our man Jay, who is coming off of a heartbreaking loss in his debate the other night. So Jay, how you doing? How you recovering?
Hey man, I'm good. I live out another day, but in my books we got W's, but I'm here to talk tonight.
Yeah, in all our books we got W's, but those only count in our books, and that's all that matters. So, all right, so we're gonna take care of a little house cleaning first. We're gonna start with our new commercial, I guess, for paparazzi. Nate, can you roll it, please?
Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us, from all of us here at the ASAP Network.
So that's paparazzi there. So our next one, I believe, is Misty Metals. Nate. Okay. So with that being said, for our viewers, they get a free t-shirt. How do they do that, Trey?
Oh man, all you got to do is be part of our show. That's all you got to do. It's that simple. All you got to do is watch any of your favorite All Sports All Play Network show. Comment on the comment section. Whoever has the most comments at the end of each month will be declared the winner of the competition, and you'll get that awesome t-shirt right there. Now, if you don't want to be part of our show and you just want to sit back, relax, throw popcorn at us because we're making stupid opinions or whatever the case may be, if you just don't like something we said and you just want to sit back and relax, just hit up one of your favorite analysts and we'll hook you up with an All Sports All Play Network t-shirt that way for $14.95 plus shipping and handling. So Valentine's Day is coming up, fellas. Get your girl a t-shirt. She'll enjoy it.
All right, and then our last sponsor we're going to talk about is Anchor. Jay, explain Anchor to our viewers.
Anchor is your one-stop shop at getting your own podcasts up and rolling. You need some place to get it all these different outlets. Anchor's your source. And then they got all the tools necessary to actually edit and post your podcast right there. So you want to get professional quick.
All right. So, with that being said, let's get into some of our Jock Talk topics. What's the first one we got?
Steve.
There it is.
Oh,
all right.
25. Okay.
Yep, top 25. So, Trey, let's break it down. What do you got for us?
Basically, okay, so nothing really has changed. Texas lost at the buzzer against a great Texas Tech school. Bird is the head coach for Texas Tech, has those guys rocking and rolling right now. Their defense is sound. Their defense is always going to be great with Texas Tech. I think the Big 12 is the best conference in the league, and they're proving it so far this year. Kansas is on a downward spiral. This will be the first year in so long that they won't win the Big 12 championship. Baylor looks like they're going to dethrone them of their title finally after so many years. But man, what's catching my eye is Alabama at 18. That's basically surprise. Alabama is the second best team in the SEC. Tennessee is right there, a little better than what they are, but Alabama surprised me with the way they're playing right now. And like Jay said, we've been saying for a couple. Look at all those mid majors, man. There's a lot of mid majors in the top 10, the top 25. You have St. Louis at number 25. I mean, this is the year of the mid major. I hate to do this, but I'm going to agree with Jay. The mid majors is what's going to be the story this year so far.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, Jay, what do you got?
And too, man. I mean, when we get into these divisionals, we started getting into these head-to-heads where these teams are more familiar with each other. Like I was talking about last week. Last week we didn't have that much change in the top 10. We had some shuffles, but we didn't have that many new introductions. Texas dropping to 5. I think we should take note of that. What do they lose? What was it?
One spot.
Lost to Wednesday. Lost to Texas Tech.
At the buzzer.
Yeah, yep. And then they turned around. They beat Kansas State. But that Texas Tech loss, I think, will knock them out of the top. They're going to knock them down to like 8 or 9. I think Kansas losing 3. What do they lose? Kansas lost to Baylor. Sunday, Kansas lost to another one. Who else Kansas lose? Oklahoma State, yeah, by 5 on Monday. Yeah, give me one. Had to take an order. But yeah, 5 as well. So I think Kansas will save them from dropping out of the top 10 because they'll just take their spot. They'll probably fall. Texas will probably fall to like 8 or 9 like this next week.
Why do you say that?
Why do I say that?
Because Texas's loss came on Saturday. The new top 25 just came out on Sunday, so that loss has already been affected in the rankings. And they beat Kansas State. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, okay.
True, they did beat them. They did. But just feel, because what do they got this week coming up? No, they're done for the week. You're right.
Yeah, because TCU, that game's postponed because of COVID.
Yeah, you're
TCU
right.
has got to cancel their games against Tech and Texas.
You're right. They don't have the next one to Oklahoma. That's next week.
Okay. So there's 3 names that I've noticed that are not in the top 25 that we typically see there. Duke, Kentucky, and North Carolina. I think that's the first time since 71 that all 3 of those haven't been on there. And then I think it's like 86 since 2 of them haven't been on there. So what are we knowing about them 3? What are we seeing? What are we feeling? Jay or Trey. Go ahead, Trey.
It's just
Same thing we've been talking about, Trey, all year since the beginning.
This is the year one, and I'm glad you brought that up, Brandon, because I was actually going to bring that up as well. Duke is not making the tournament this year unless some dramatic changes. Unless they start winning some games, Duke is going to miss the NCAA tournament this year for the first time. Kentucky is not going to make the tournament unless they win their tournament, which their conference tournament, which is not going to happen. North Carolina's on the edge of will they or will they not. Right now they're in, but I just think they're in by a smidge just because of how many teams are going to – they might be in a play-in game on that Tuesday or Wednesday of the tournament week. But, yeah, it's unless Duke changes around quick because they're losing tonight. Again, COVID's been taking Duke and all these conferences. Like, they got no rhythm because of all the – they're playing, they're not playing. And Duke's just, like – said, forget it, we're not really playing. And what killed Duke was canceling all their non-conference games and just playing conference games because of COVID. Yeah. And you're seeing it right now without those games. Duke's a little behind on everything like that, which is sad because I think Coach K is the greatest coach in college basketball. He's proven it. But I think you're starting to see with Coach K, everything goes down. Everything starts.
It starts changing up.
Everything
Man.
has to end. Everything has to end. Like, yes, I'm sorry. Nick Saban is going to he's going to end his run at Alabama sooner or later. Everything must come to an end. I think you're starting to see that with Coach K. I hate to say that because I love Coach K, but I think this is a wake up call, and I think that you're starting to see the end of Duke's dominance in the NCAA.
Whoa, there you go. That's a big one there. What do you got, Jay?
I think Kentucky. I think Duke are different from North Carolina. I'm gonna take them and set them aside from North Carolina. North Carolina, I will match with the story you just told. Duke and Kentucky, this is just a one-off year, man. I mean, especially Kentucky, they're a one and done team. They're known for that. They're known for having high end recruits come in and do their thing and dip out. I mean, we can name quite a few players in the NBA right now that came inside and did the one thing. Kentucky be back. Kentucky, like we talked about in the beginning of this show, a few weeks back, that Kentucky's team is not. It's not that they're not talented. It's a very, very talented young squad. The thing that's lacking in Kentucky that doesn't lack in Kentucky is superstar power. And they don't have that. They don't have anyone that's demanding the media, that's demanding the attention, that's demanding the ball for that matter. I don't think Kentucky would be done. I think Kentucky would be back. Now, Duke, on the other hand, Coach K, man, I'm going to tell you something. These coaches, they have plans. They know how to massage their players. And when I say that, they know they got a young center that's going to be a great, a great asset to the college basketball, and he may not want to use a year eligibility for him. You know what I mean? Coach K might have a few players underneath his sleeves that he just did not let play this year because he knew what type of year it was going to be. And there was no guarantee that this year would finish, that we would even have a Final Four. So I don't think it's so much, Trey, that Duke is done and Coach K is done as it is the year that we've had, bro.
Let me clarify by what I say is done. I'm not saying that they're not going to compete for NCAA, but the dominance that you've seen from Duke, the dominance, like the year after year, the ranking in the top 5, the top 10, that is the dominance. That's what I'm trying to get at. I still think they're going to compete and get those players, but you're not going to see the Duke that you've been seeing for the last 20 years with Coach K in like when you see Duke, you're like automatically, no matter if it's freshman, you're going to see them in the top 5. But if you noticed everything about Duke from past years, they're kind of getting less and less talent. And why is that? No, what?
They haven't been getting the Ohio State treatment. That's all.
No, I'm a Duke fan, man. I'm a Duke guy. I love Duke. Duke's my favorite basketball school. For me to say this is heartbreaking. But the dominance that you've seen with Coach K, I think you're starting to see the end. I think they're still going to make tournaments. They're still going to be probably ranked in the top 25, but the favorites to win, every year, probably about 1,000 people who vote on Duke to win the national championship. You're not going to see that anymore because they're not going to be that dominated team. I think the mid-majors are on the uprise. I think this one and done thing, we'll talk probably a little bit later about it. I think this has ruined and it's starting to catch up with – it is starting to ruin all these programs, but I'll get into that a little later.
Yeah, we'll touch on the ones done later, but, how does Michigan not drop any spots after losing to the Gophers? I know the Gophers are ranked high, but
because it's their only loss.
Yeah. Okay.
They've been dominant all year. That's what I'm trying to get at. They've been dominant.
Who has Michigan?
Yeah.
Yeah. Michigan's proven that they're a top team. That's why. And Minnesota's no scrub, man. Minnesota's a good team. Stop knocking on your your home state, every team, man. Your team deserves to be having some considerations. Your Minnesota Gophers are no slouch, dude. I'm just telling you,
trust me. I want them to do good. I'm just waiting for that heartbreak like we normally get. But I hope they can prove me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I want them to go far. I want them to prove me wrong. I'm not saying they're not going to make it, but
Brandon, because they did lose by 28 points.
Yeah,
it wasn't no normal loss. I mean, you guys put the whooping on them by 28.
Yeah,
No.
But who are you going to put? Like, that's what I'm saying. There's not dominant team. Wisconsin lost by so much. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They got their butt handed to them. West Virginia is not better than Michigan. Kansas is definitely not better than Michigan. If you look at Texas only dropped one spot too after their loss. So I think you're starting to see these teams, the rankings, like you lose a game, level out. But I think you're starting to see who the dominant teams are in the NCAA, who your number ones are going to be. But I'll give that prediction later too. What I think. Michigan, Texas, and Tennessee, they're pretty much even. The only problem I have is I don't think Iowa is number 4 ranked team in the nation. That's just my personal opinion.
What do you think?
Huh?
Where do you think they should be at?
See, the basketball AP rankings are a whole different story than football because the tournament is so big. This 1 through 4 thing is not the real ranking. So if you want to go top 4 teams, for me, it's Gonzaga, Baylor, Villanova, and I would still have Texas at number 4 just because of their guard play.
I don't know.
Iowa is not doing. If Luka is not doing his thing, then Iowa can get beat. I'm just telling you that.
Hey, but you want to know what you just said? You said a superstar, and that's the thing, man. We're talking about the turning.
Texas has 3 though. Texas has 3.
Texas has three good guards.
And Iowa just has 1 good player.
3 good guards. Iowa has a superstar. There's a difference. And
how many
the tourney play, that's the big difference. I think good teams are good teams. They're gonna do good. They're gonna hit the elites. They're gonna, you know what I mean? They're gonna drag themselves in there. But when you get to them final minute games, when you get to those last second shots, when you get to stars, you need star power. And I think that's what overcomes an attorney. We've seen it year after year. So when I look at Iowa and I see their team is solid, and then they have that superstar factor. So, and man, Luka is a 7-footer, bro. He's a 7-footer out there doing guard things. Like, Luka is a bad boy. That team is spotted where they need to be.
Dude, no, I'm not. Dude, I'm just looking at who they lost to. Yes, they lost to the number 1 ranked team in Gonzaga. They lost to them by 11 points. But then they also lost to Brandon's Golden Gophers by 7. Texas only lost. Look at Texas' only lost. They lost by 3 to Villanova, the number 3 ranked team. 3 to Villanova. Then they only lost at the buzzer to a great Texas Tech rival team in Texas Tech. That's why I think they're a lot better than Iowa. But Not a lot better. But I think.
And then they just came out.
I think Iowa's a 2. That's what I think. I think Iowa's a 2. I'm going by rankings, what the committee's going to do. That's what I said.
In the 4 through 8 slot, I mean the 5, 4 through 8, or 5 through 9.
That's what I'm saying. These AP rankings don't mean anything. Like 1 through 4, we know who number 1s are going to be. That's who I think the 4 1s are going to be. I think Iowa's going to be the 4th number 2. Now, if Texas slips in the tournament, gets in the Big 12 tournament, and gets out early, then yes, Iowa can easily beat. But right now, Texas' resume is a whole lot better than what Iowa's is. Iowa should have lost to Rutgers too. So that's what I'm getting at. But Texas also could have lost to all these other teams too, but they didn't. But I just think Texas' resume is a little better.
You spot Iowa at that second, at the 4th, 8th, or the 4th, 2nd spot, and they got a shoe into the Elite 8.
No, yeah, I think they're the first seconds. I think they're the first second, like the number 1, 2, which is going to be better than being the 4th number 1. That's what I'm trying to get at. I'm giving them praise for that.
The 4th number 1. Now you slot them deep down the 2nd one, man. They gotta have a shoe into the Elite.
Mm-hmm.
That could be.
I mean, I'm looking at that Alabama though. You're right about this Alabama team. They're coming on strong. I think going into the divisionals, we'll really see how tough they are. If they win the next 3-4 in a row and really gain some momentum here, they might be a second seed team here at the end as well. They're pushing, man, and they're a solid squad. I mean, but I'm also looking at, what do you think about Illinois defeating Ohio State?
Well, it's a division game. I mean, Illinois needed it, so Ohio State let it go. I mean, right there. I mean, the Big Ten's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the tournament, I believe. So,
you think the Big Ten is better than the Big 12? You think the Big Ten is better than the Big 12?
Oh, I mean that's tough. I mean, they both could be equally power in there, but this is like the first year that I haven't really heard much about Big Ten talk like I normally do. Where Big Ten powerhouse, they're going to take it all this year. I mean, I haven't heard much of that talk. I've heard more Big 12 talk, yes. So, but
the Big 12. Before you move on, the Big 12 is going to get 7 to 8 teams in easily.
Yeah.
The Big Ten might get 6 or 5. SEC is going to get 2. And the ACC probably about. So I think the Big 12 is the best conference right now. Well, I never thought I would say that. I never thought I would say that.
You're probably right. I mean, we'll see where it goes. It's early still. So, all right. So with that being said, let's move on to our next slide there, Nate. All right. So a little football here. So, Trey, since this is your kind of team, what do you think? Give us your outtake on the new coach.
Oh, man. I actually am in love with this hire. I am in love with this hire. Texas did themselves a solid. Sarkisian is no slouch, man. Let's just be real. What he did at Washington, turned that program around at Washington, and then he went to USC, where we all know what happened at USC. He got a little big-headed and started drinking the little booze way a little bit too much, if you know what I mean. But I think that was the best thing that ever happened to him, because he finally got to realize what's important in life. Nick Saban, he went to be with the Atlanta Falcons for a little bit, be an offensive consultant for them, and then the offensive coordinator. And then Nick Saban picked him up to be the offensive coordinator. We all saw what that offense did this year with Mac Jones at quarterback. He is a great offensive play caller. This is a great head coach. Now, if he just stays off and puts his head on right and stays off the juice, man, Texas's offense and what they have coming up. I don't know if y'all watched the Alamo Bowl game with Thompson coming in. Thompson can throw the ball deep. And then the running back, who's a sophomore, who was number 1 ranked out of Arizona, who said that he wanted to come to Texas because he wanted to turn Texas around himself. To me, with those two, and then the receiving core that they're getting, Texas is going to start getting the recruiting class that they used to get with Mac Brown, with Sarkisian. This is a great move. Texas is. I think this is finally going to give. I don't think they're going to be back next year, but in 2 or 3 years, you're going to see them in the playoffs for the first time in about 2 years. That's my prediction. 2 years.
All right, Trey. Yeah, that was my. You just answered my second question to you. Is how many years do you give them? So, all right, Jay, what do you got, bud?
Yeah, no, he hit the nail in the coffin. This is a great move for them. I mean, just looking at his track record. That year that USC won the national championship, he was the QB coach for Matt Leinart, and you seen what Matt Leinart did. That he tore the league apart, and I think that year Matt Leinart probably had the best year of football in his life. And then you turn around and you look at this last Alabama team that just won the national championship, and he was the offense coordinator there. And honestly, that was probably one of the best offensive Alabama teams I think I've ever put my eyes on. Completely from all the way from the top to the bottom, that was the best offensive Alabama team I've seen in quite some time. For him to man both. And we can go to say that was the best USC offensive team since. That was the last of the Mohicans right there. So we had the best USC team and the last USC team, and then the best Alabama offensive team I've seen. So, and then for like you said, Trey, the what he did in Washington already, and even though he screwed up his time in USC, that offense was rolling. You know what I mean? They were rolling before everything started going on. So
Mhm.
he's an offensive minded coach. He's a quarterback. I'm not gonna say a guru yet, but he's a quarterback genius. We'll see what it looks like for him to go out and grab and hand pick a quarterback to play his style and his offense, and him run and pilot it from the start to finish. I'm interested in seeing what he comes up with. But again, I think you give him 4 to 5 years to really turn that place around, get some of his recruits in there. You see what he can do with what he has on the table, and I think this dude might be there for a while. It's a really good move for Texas, though. They've been stuck. They've been stuck.
Wow.
You know, they've been stuck like
Wow.
right before full.
I think Trey just saw what I saw.
I'm sorry, Jay, to
That was-
interrupt you. I know this is
Yeah.
Jock Talk and everything like
No,
that, but we got
I
to
was
break
just
this
gonna, I was gonna break it. So,
news. Go ahead, Brendan. You're the baseball guru.
oh my God,
I'll let you do it.
I saw it pop up too.
Springer signing with the Toronto Blue Jays. Oh my God, that's wow. I did not see that coming at all. So, wow, yeah, that's going to turn that young team around really quick. So, all right, Jay, back to your. Sorry, but yeah, we had to break that one. So,
Yeah.
all right, wow.
That's
So, all right. So yeah, for me, I mean, how long did he sign there? I mean, did he get a decent extent or contract there, Trey?
probably
You know, offhand?
I think it was 5 years.
Okay, so towards the end of his third,
which is average.
Yeah.
Which is average for a coach.
yeah. So by the time you're seeing, him in his third to fourth year, going into the fifth year, is when we're going to see his full staff of recruits playing. So, but yeah, what he's done in other stops, I mean, phenomenal. So, yeah, Texas. Yeah, go ahead, but
Going to Jay's point, yeah, he's going to get his recruit, but this is the perfect transition because you're finally getting rid of Sam Ellinger. Sam Ellinger, I love him. He was one of the, but he was not the guy to be. And I wish he was, but he's not. He wasn't the guy. He was not a true quarterback. Thompson, this guy, going back to the quarterback whisperer that Sarkisian is. Thompson with his leadership, and you have 3 years with Thompson right there. And then he just didn't enough time for his recruits to come in and see what he's going to do. And it's going to prevail them in the recruiting class, and it's going to get them higher. So Jay made great points on that. This is why this is the perfect time. They needed to get Tom Herman out of there and get Sarkisian in as soon as they did. Because even though Tom Herman, he banked on this firing. He got, $18 million to walk? I mean, yeah. I wish someone paid me $18 million to walk. I'll do it right now.
I'll walk anywhere you want me to go.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Hey, that's a good point too. Ellinger's a good quarterback. But he's not the quarterback. And I think that's what we're gonna see with Steve is him going out and actually finding good quarterbacks. Quarterback. And that's the thing about Ellinger. I used to love watching Ellinger play football. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that Ellinger was whack because he wasn't. Ellinger was an exciting football player to watch. He can sling that ball. He puts the ball where it needs to be, but he wasn't at I need it now quarterback. He wasn't going to go out there and do it. He was going to go out there and make some stuff happen and manifest something. But when the game's on the line, he's throwing an interception. When the game's on the line, he's making the bag play. His head gets rattled. He doesn't throw the 35-yard, gunsling pass. He throws a 15-yard dink when the 35-yard is open. So we're gonna see a difference. And I'm hoping that because I haven't seen much on Thompson that you're talking about, but I'm hoping that he already has that arm, that gunslinger mentality. That
he does.
Then it's gonna. Perfect match made in heaven. Because I'll tell you what. Go ahead.
If you just the Alamo, let me do your stats real quick. In one half, and actually in one quarter, when he came in when Sam Ellinger got hurt, he threw the ball for 4 times and had 120 yards because he threw the ball. That guy can throw the deep ball on. It was beautiful. Something new in Texas eyes besides that little run pass option thing that we got tired of.
That's the thing, though. when we look at I forgot the dude's name that they had in Washington. When he was down there in Washington, that boy could freaking sling that ball. And then again, you look at Matt Leinart the year that he was down over there. I mean, he had Matt Leinart throwing the ball all over the field. So if he already has a guy that can sling the ball, he has a guy that's not scared to throw it into tight situations. That means he's going to be okay with running his playbook. And I'm telling you, Texas might be a quicker transition than what you're thinking if they get a couple big receivers, man. That's all.
I think they're going to be like in the top 20, top 10, but we're competing for the Final Four. I think it's going to take another year, get Thompson a full year, and then because he's only going to be a sophomore coming in, and he's going to be ready to rock and roll after that. A new system and everything. So,
well, just for this year's sake, I hope Texas is like number 5, and we're worried about them in Ohio State, and then I can look back at this year and say, look. Last year, it wasn't a good thing against you because it wasn't nobody that you liked. This year, Ohio State taking it, giving their little powdery poo-foo, get up into the BCS stuff is going to haunt you. That's what I hope happens next year. So you got your Texas and your Ohio State down to the last one. We're going to see how that stuff
All right. So a little bit on that topic that Nate just brought up for the score. It looks like it was a tie game. Villanova Seton 74-74. Could that hurt, win or lose? Could that hurt Villanova in the top 3 there? I mean, or would they have to lose to drop out?
No, it's not going to drop them out of the top 3. But this is what me and Trey were talking about, swinging around into these divisionals, man, and going into these matchups where these teams know each other a little better. And, you got to buckle up your seatbelt.
All right. Trey, got anything to add to that score there, or?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean, yeah, they might drop in the rankings or whatever, but they're still. I think they're going to be the third number 1 seed in the tournament. That's what when I say number 1, like number 3. I just you got to classify as what the college basketball rankings are going to give you, the 4 and 1s and the 2s, and so.
Oh, I got you. All right, so let's move on. What's that, Jay?
They're definitely going to stay in the top 3. I don't think they'll move. If they do move at all, it'll be the number 2.
Okay. All right. So, big question comes up every year lately. Should the NCAA basketball be a one and done, or should they get rid of it? Jay, you shake your head. Let's hear what you got.
No, man. No. Players aren't paid yet. They make buku millions and millions and millions of dollars for these college organizations, and they don't gain anything from them. Some of these guys are lucky to even make it just to college, not as being picked, but to make it out of where they came from, to make it to the school to get out of there. So, no. I mean, also the NBA, they're putting in a lot of different things. They're setting up a lot of different programs and things to help out with that. I think the G League is a really, really, really big addition, letting players have future contracts, double contracts. You got professional overseas sports you can bounce at, so no, I don't think you should, because if we take that away, these kids are not even going to go to college anymore.
Okay. Trey, what do you think?
I think they absolutely should abandon this one and done rule. I think it's the stupidest thing in the world. I think they should implement what the college football does. What they do is you have to be in for 3 years. And I know this isn't all NCAA, but mind you, this is NBA. I think the NBA I think they're going to start doing their thing with the G League and letting these young players develop these young players and becoming professional athletes. And I think that's kudos. I think that's what they need to do. But I think what the NCAA needs to do, if you do, final Villanova won 76-74.
All right.
I guess I can watch a recap of what. So Villanova is not getting out of time. You go back to your final question.
Oh, that's good.
honestly, what they need to do is make a rule. Once you're in college, you have to stay for 3 years. If you want to go to the G League, or if that's good, then you can go do that, become a pro, or at least 2 years in NCAA basketball. But these one and dones are killing. It's killing the game of basketball. You're seeing the viewership down. People used to love watching college basketball because they get to follow the players for so many years. Now you have to be a diehard college football or basketball fan to understand, like, any of these players, the recruiting process and who they got to sign. I mean, it's starting to be. That's why you're starting to see a lot of the mid majors beat up on these schools that were so dominant for so many years, like the Kentuckys, the Dukes, the. That's why Gonzaga has lifted themselves to be the number one ranked team in the nation and be that because they have those juniors and seniors where you have these one and dones where they haven't developed where those juniors and seniors maturity level is right now. So I mean, honestly, okay, this is honestly what I think these I think this is what's going to help the NCAA because NCAA is fixing to lift that ban where to pay the athlete by the likeness and by other things. So you can like go sell your autograph. You can go sell and make money, and I think that's going to help people go to college. And I think that's going to help them make money too and enjoy the game as well. So I think they just need. I never understood why the NBA and NCAA or NBA went to one and done after it worked out so well the way they used to have it. Come out of college or high school right away and go straight to the NBA. But I'm glad that the NBA is starting to see their errors of their ways, and I think that G League, Adam Silver is one of the best commissioners in the league. I think he's actually the best commissioner in all sports. To be honest with you, what he's done for everything. But if they get that G League going and getting these players in a professional atmosphere, how to manage your money, how to become a professional athlete, then it's going to take off like gangbusters, and you're going to see that, and then you're going to see the NCAA flourish from their side with all the players coming in, and then they're probably going to because you're probably just going to get the players who are probably just going to not playing the professionals, but they good basketball players, mind you, but they're going to stay in college a lot longer because they're not going to be drafted in the NBA. So I think it's going to be a win-win situation if they can get that going.
Okay, go ahead, Jay. Go ahead. Finish off.
The only thing about it, Trey, I couldn't see us going to a 3. 3 years in is too long for some of these guys.
I said too. After I talked to that, I said.
Yeah, no, and I agree. That's what I'm saying. I couldn't see us going to a 3. I think 3 years is just way too long. I mean, you look at somebody like Zion Williams, and I think another year with him in college, he would have broke his leg or something ridiculous, and it would have costed him the way he was playing. And you know what I mean. So I don't think 3 is the answer. I think 2 is workable. I like the one and done. I like it, and the reason being,
I think they should come out of high school though. Like what you're saying is Zion would have broken it. Yeah, but he could have came straight out of high school, and so we're not even talking about it if they didn't have this one and done.
And you're right. He could have came out of high school. But I think that 1 year in college really helps with not only the player himself, because it gives them a time to get that showcase and build that name and that brand, to go in and kind of have that ump behind him, for his own personal portfolio, so to speak.
Well, and if Zion didn't have the breakout year that he did, and he wasn't going to be the number one pick, he said he would have stayed at Duke for another year. That's how much he loves it.
What I'm saying now, if he comes out of high school, goes to the NBA, he's a second-round draft pick. He goes to Duke for 1 year, he lights that bug up, and now he's a first overall pick. So, is it something that I want to knock out? No. Is it because it's a double-edged sword? It's good and it's bad. Yeah, Duke screwed after that because they lost the best player in the nation. But also the best player in the nation came from nothing and turned himself into the best player in the nation. So it's a double-edged sword. I think that I think there should be qualifiers. I think if your team reaches the Elite 16, you should be able to leave. I think if you win a BCS national championship, you should be able to leave. I think, you know what I mean? I think there should be qualifiers that trump it and qualify you to leave early. I mean, if you outperform, bro, and you go and you leap from a second round pick or a guy that's not even looked at, and all of a sudden you're a first round pick, I don't want to stay.
You're right.
Go send me to OKC or wherever the team that needs me, and let me get some money and let me build my portfolio. Let me start building my family, and let me build for me and not for your school anymore.
Yeah, you're right, and that's why I wish. And that's why I wish when the NBA adapted this rule, they need to go the one and done, that they would have had the G League or something else, so they can go up and develop their game while they're not helping. You know what I mean? That's where I'm trying to get. I think we're agreeing on it, but we're getting different ways to get to where we're trying to stay.
Yep.
Yeah, because you're right. There needs some fillers. But that's again, Trey. That if we put qualifiers, we're not gonna have LiAngelo Ball in the NBA. LiAngelo Ball is gonna be in college for 3 years. We're not gonna have. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna have.
I do. That's why I went down to 2. That's why I went down. I think because 2 years, you get your basically, let's just face it, the first 2 years of college is basically basics anyway. So you're getting your basics out of the way right there, and then after 2 years, you get to determine. And to get to determine, okay, do I want to stay here? Do I want to go make money? And you're better for it. Just like that point guard for Duke, Trey Jones. I mean, he stayed another year, and now he got a better draft pick. He actually got drafted. He wasn't even going to be drafted, but he got drafted because he stayed, and Coach K worked on him and helped his game out in that. But I just wish that.
Real quick, Trey Jones is the perfect example. You just said wasn't going to be drafted. He shouldn't be able to leave. There should be we should be on a scale like, bro, you're in the second round and you're a 1-year player. You're not qualified to leave. You know what I'm saying? Like, there should be markers.
Yeah, I see where Jay's going. And, speaking of the Minnesota boy that you guys are talking about, I mean, Apple Valley born. So, but, I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, but I see both sides of it, what you guys are saying. I think if they want to leave, or if they plan on staying in school 1 year, just go straight from high school to the pros. Trey, I like your idea. 2 years at least. Make a commitment. I mean, yeah, it's not 4 years, but hey, half of that, you can kind of build around it and see where they're at. Jay, the qualifiers or certain levels that you got to get to. That's a great point too. Didn't even think of that. Came out of the box with that one. So I don't know how you would determine if a person can leave though. I mean, if he's good enough, I mean that would be something to kind of talk about more.
I mean, you win a title, you win a championship. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do something leaps and bounds above to put yourself in a different light.
Okay, Brendan, you might know this better because I'm kind of confused by this. Do you know the baseball rule for NCAA? Like, they can go get drafted or whatever. They don't but they can go back. It has to be for 3 years. I don't understand that.
Yeah. So what they could do is, baseball is open to high school and college draft, and they can get drafted. They get a choice to either, and I believe it all has to do with the agent. If they sign with an agent, they have to go play pro. But if they don't, then they can drop back into the draft the following year.
So that's actually what I want, like all these other sports to do. I mean, that
would be.
But basketball, see what you're worth. But don't sign with an agent. Go see what you're worth.
Yep.
But the only problem with that is, and Jay's point is that then you're stuck for 3 because I think you have to stay for 3 years if you're in baseball. I think they need to go down to 2 years, maybe 2 years on that.
No, see, now I wouldn't be mad at that, Trey. If you go see an agent, you go enter the draft, and then you pull yourself out of it, you're stuck for 3. I agree. We could do that.
But in baseball, I don't think it's 3. I think they can re-enter the draft the following year. So yeah.
But I'm saying, what we were talking about, I don't mind that. Now, if you go into the draft, you test the waters, and then you pull your name right before the draft, you automatically have 2 years in college before you enter back in the draft. I like that rule.
I do like that. That's kind of a good thing. I think I think we need to try to get Trey's name out there for the NCAA committee there, and
It's too
see if
easy.
we can-
Dude,
It's
I hate the NCAA president. I hate I love college sports, but I hate the NCAA and the rules and the money they make off them. That's why I'm so proud that these players are finally, I think, next year, 2023, they're finally going to get paid for the likeness and everything like that. I'm just so happy. For so long, I heard all these players get the free scholarship. Yeah, so the people making straight A's and 4.0 averages, but they can go job and into intern. Where football and basketball, this is actually a job, and you don't have time to go get a job. That's making millions of dollars off. That's a time for different subjects.
And it actually kind of surprises me on the former college athlete that's behind this and pushing it was one of the O'Bannon brothers. I mean, he went college, I think, all 4 years, and I went to the pros and did his thing. But they got to get their money. I mean, the colleges are making a lot off of them. I mean, nobody can argue that. So I think we're all kind of in agreement that they need to come up with something where if you're not going to go to college for more than 1 year, go straight to the pros, and maybe if you declare for the draft and decide you're backing out, then you're in for 2 to 3 years. So I think we're good on that. So, all right. So next slide there, Nate. All right. So getting close to the end here. Predict one thing that may happen this week. Jay, what do you got?
Man, falls out of the top 10 this week. I think they lose Ohio State. Coming up next week on Saturday. There's a couple big games. I think they fall out.
Okay, Jay or Trey, what do you got?
Okay, so I kind of teased it last week when I said that Gonzaga was going to lose, and they made me look terribly horrible on that prediction whatsoever. When y'all asked me what the topics were, I wanted, this is what I wanted to start doing was just predict something weird or crazy or make it fun. You know what I mean? Like something crazy out of the blue and see if it comes true. Sort of like what the NFL Network does on the pregame show.
Okay.
Like bold predictions. So like don't be afraid to go way out there or anything. But man, this one's hard because we're finally starting getting good in basketball and everything. But I think you're gonna see all right. So you're gonna see your Minnesota Golden Gophers go undefeated and crack the top 10 by next Monday.
Ooh. Wow. I was actually I was kind of thinking of that one. I mean, I did wear the Golden Gopher t-shirt today, but you want something wild and crazy. I was actually kind of go with the Gonzaga take that you had last week for this week, but I'm going to go Baylor. I think Baylor's going to drop one this week. So that's what I think they're going to drop one by next Tuesday when we convene again. So, anything else? Yeah, Jay.
Will say that I did see Will's comments earlier. I will give a shout out to South Florida. They're ranked 14th in basketball. But while I'm doing that, I always gotta do Arizona. So we in the top 10 too. So, if I shout out Southern Florida, I'm gonna shout out Arizona too. So both of those women's basketball teams are going at it.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we can take a dive into the women's side next week a little bit. Got to give them some love. Maybe, I don't know, hockey. I mean, my Golden Gophers are doing good there. So
just started hockey.
Yeah.
Put some comments in there if y'all want us to, look at a couple of different. If y'all want us to
talk. Maybe. What's up?
I'm just looking at Baylor's schedule. You might be right because Oklahoma State. They're go to.
That's
Oklahoma
the one game.
Saturday. I think
That's
they
the
got.
one. That's the one game I saw that maybe swing that way. So, but maybe we can make Nate's dream come true and we talk a little rugby. I mean, he said he's a little rugby guy. So, or BYU. We'll talk BYU next week, maybe. Who knows?
Hey,
So-
BYU try to do something for me to talk about them. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. So,
I know this ain't college or anything like this, but I do want to shout out because I do cover all sports, everything. I want to shout out this professional level to Sarah Walsh, the first woman who's going to be able calling Super Bowl. So, what women have done these past couple of years in sports and everything, like we have Becky Hammond probably going to become the first female head coach in the NBA. You have all these NBA star referees that are women calling big time games right now. You see Miss Walsh, the sideline judge, and she does a phenomenal. And she's not intimidated by these coaches. Bill Belichick, you see Bill Belichick yelling at her in her ear and everything like that, like cussing her out. She's danced tall and she's put them down in the spot. What women have done in the past, I know they've been women been struggling and everything, but the way they just keep pushing down walls after wall after wall after wall, and we saw it this year too with the Vanderbilt. Forgot her name. I do apologize for Vanderbilt being the first female to score a point in an NCAA game. That was a remarkable defeat in itself. But I just want to congratulate all the women out there for not letting their limitations or what society has limited them to, but they just keep pushing down that wall and what they're striving and becoming better at. I mean, that's because let's face it, guys, women are just as good as men on a lot of things. And you're proving that right now. Just give them an opportunity and just seeing what women are doing in the world of sport. It's a great thing to see. So congratulations to Miss Sarah Walsh becoming the Super Bowl referee.
And big ups for the NFL for happen and not keeping that gender barrier going. I mean, like you said, Trey, we've been seeing it in all sports, and not just sports, just around the world. A lot of things happening. These gender barriers are breaking. Racial barriers have been breaking, and we definitely take time out and acknowledge to make sure it's not going on 8 years. So definitely.
But not only that, and I think in the NFL, you're going to see who the assistant for the 49ers, I forgot her name. But she's going to be.
I thought she got. I thought they split ties with her.
Yeah, because right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but you're going to see her become like a coordinator at some point, like in the next year or so. You're going to see a female defensive coordinator or some kind of like a linebacker. You're going to start seeing that wall be bright. I mean, the sky's for these women, and I'm just kudos for them for not letting us men telling them what to do and just pushing them. So, and I think you can thank Serena Williams for the dominance that she's been doing in the tennis world, because I think Serena Williams can beat any male tennis guy right now in her younger age. I'm not saying right now, in her pre-baby, I think she could easily beat a lot of those guys in not the Federer. I don't know. She might be Federer, but
Venus ain't too far from her.
No, but Serena's a different animal, man. Serena's
animal, but Venus ain't too far from her. I mean, both of those women, it just takes those type of things, man. I mean, we can stand and fight against stuff like this if we want to, but it's gonna break. And acceptance is probably gonna be the easiest thing rather than fighting against it at this point. But you got girls like Serena Williams, you got girls like Venus Williams that are giving a lot of young girls growing up, outlooks on and different avenues and views on how they could live their lives that weren't there before, so like you said, it's definitely changing and it's rapidly changing in front of us. We're definitely going to see a woman's head coach here soon. I
know Becky Hammond's going to be head coach. She's already been interviewing for a head coach. Yeah, Spurs next year. It's going to because what she did for I think it was a D League when they were I don't know, it might have been the D League, winning the championship, and the way those players listen, because I live in this area, so I got full coverage of it day to day, and the way those players just pay attention to her and respected her, that takes them a lot too.
It really knows it.
So we're on the women, and Trey kind of stole a little bit what I was gonna say. Congratulations to everything that's happened with the women in sports this year. The kicker getting invite to the inaugural presidential ball or whatever they call it. Congrats to her. Just throwing a wild question out there. Do you guys ever see a woman crossing over and playing into a men's sport in the pro level?
Go ahead, Jay.
And what sport would it be? I mean,
it's right now. No happening in seriously. Too many liability issues, too many insurance issues, too many different things that I think will slow it down. And if it is in football, that would be one of the last sports.
Yeah.
I can see it happening in baseball a lot quicker.
Oh, wow.
I think I see a lot of these softball girls that end at the Olympics, nowhere else for them to go, that I can see one of them making a transition, playing a DH, doing something of that nature. I don't see basketball. I don't see it just because there's so much need for a superstar athlete in WNBA. So I think it would be more lucrative for the sport to have that whoever that woman is that's trying to make that crossover stay in the WNBA unless they give her an opportunity to switch over. Let's say there's some injury or there's some spoof and she plays a 2-week span or 10-day contract and then goes back.
So I got to say, Madison, Dave, if you could pull up her comment. This is the sport I thought it would be in. I know it's not a major one, but she said soccer. So if it's not going to be basketball, which would have been my first, Landon, you're right. 90 is a little bit different than 60, but some of those girls, I wouldn't doubt could hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Better than most guys. So
going to Jay's point, man. I try to hit a baseball. I'm not very good at baseball, and then softball, that fast pitch softball, the way those girls can hit those stinking balls, it amazes me in itself. I wouldn't be shocked if it's baseball, to be honest, because if they can hit a fastball coming at from close range like that, the way it's coming fast in, I think they could probably, some woman or a lot of women could probably handle 100-mile-per-hour heater at some point in the league. But I think if you're going to see a woman, I think it's going to be golf or soccer first.
Okay.
I think golf, I think you're going to see it a little bit. I think because these girls are getting stronger, they can hit the golf ball a little bit further. And you don't have to really change the rules. I'm not change the rules, I should say, but I think it's more compatible for women. But we almost saw it here with Carly Lloyd almost making a team with the Philadelphia Eagles kicking field goals. I could see that. I could see like a field goal kicker. But basketball, I mean, I could see I could definitely see Sue Bird suiting up for your Minnesota Timberwolves this year. I mean, she's probably better than any point guard y'all have.
Shoot, right now, I'd take probably the Lynx to play in the NBA, the whole team over the Timberwolves right now. So
the only thing about soccer though that I'm hesitant to say soccer is it's very physical, and depending on the stage we're playing on. If we're talking about soccer, maybe. We're talking about club soccer, absolutely not.
I think it's going to have to be like a sport like a tennis or a golf or something like that to break. And if it is going to be football, I think it's going to be field goal kicking or kicking off.
They got to break the barrier first before they go full.
But I think that like if it's like basketball though, man, I can definitely see Sue Bird or someone like that caliber playing. For some of these point guards I'm seeing in the NBA right now, I think not right now Sue Bird, but I think back in the day when she was younger.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going to happen when she switch off on Russell Westbrook? What's going to happen when she switch off? If you breathe up,
are you telling me? Are you telling me that they don't play each other? Like she doesn't play against professional men, and that's how like dominant she is right now in the off season?
you. What I'm telling you is
I'm
there's
just saying.
professional men that she has no business being on the floor with.
I agree, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying. I'm just saying with some of these like the New York Knicks, who they have. I mean, that's what I'm just trying to say. I think she's better than some
But
guys out there like they're
every
putting out.
team has one point guard that if she gets on them, it's a wrap. She might hurt her knee.
You're probably right.
Maybe. Yeah. But
I'm
I'm
just
with Jay though. I can see them doing like a 10-day contract if that road ever came across to see how it would go and to make history. I mean, there's been a lot of history moments this year for women all around, and so
going to baseball real quick when you said that lady becoming the first GM in baseball too. There's something else. Congratulations to her. I forgot her name as well.
Yeah.
But
yeah, she was Miami Marlins, I believe.
Yeah,
so,
you're right.
Yeah.
So women are changing the sports world right now. I mean, young kids are doing things. I mean, if you saw Tiger Woods' son, I mean, it's just amazing. We just seen amazing things with this world. I mean,
man, I saw the video of him and Tiger playing in a father-son tournament. That kid was hitting the ball better than I can. I mean, ever could. So
and he's 12. What were y'all doing?
Is he 12 or 10? I thought it was 10, but
whatever.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's
13. Yeah,
I
was playing baseball, so
I wasn't hitting a golf ball. Hey man, that little boy's bad.
He's just like Tiger too, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got probably the best coach to ever learn from. So, so with that being said, I believe that's our last main topic. You guys ain't got anything else we want to cover before we wrap it up? I don't. Trey say no.
Well, I do. I know Jay feels like he got cheated yesterday. I was one of the judges.
What? I don't feel like I got cheated. I really don't, man.
I will say this: Jay would have won that debate. He had me. He gave it away the final two questions, and I hate it because I was rooting for him. It's like Jock Talk representing.
You know what? I'm gonna say this because I had two questions in both of my head-to-head meetings with Coach Cam, where I knew because I think I've studied him enough in our little debate sessions, where I knew what his answer was going to be.
Yep.
And I told myself when I was doing it, I said, hey, if I do not get to pick first on this question, I am going to lose this question. I'm going to lose this question. That one question was the greatest college player of all time, which was the first debate. There's Lou Alcindor. That's the only answer there. It's the only answer. And I can go and I can pick Oscar. I can pick, but I'm not going to argue that because I know the only answer. And then the other one was the athlete of the greatest athletes in sports. It is football.
But I would have said anything. I would have said gymnastics. I would have said.
You should have came out and said the women in general.
Hey, I was going to go Tiger Woods. I was really going to go Tiger Woods, and it was just going to be a hard.
But the reason I'm bringing this up is, as you all may know, we are starting our second round debates. Jay and Cam did their thing last night, set the bar high for all these other guys. So the rest of this week coming up, we have those debates. Tomorrow night, I think Brendan Herrera's on this one. Sports Minute tomorrow night with Will.
No, it's they haven't told me, but it's the Barbers, Vic and Will on the Sports Minute tomorrow. Yeah, right. I was on there, but they schedule conflicts, but hey, I'm always willing to jump on. But our next debate, is Thursday, I believe I saw. I could be wrong. Nate, correct us if we are. I think it's Landon versus Barber. I think I could be wrong with that one. I don't know. But
I know
I know Nate the Great is going against Chris Brown here in the second round.
And Will is going up against Dave Messereld, so. Hopefully, Messereld gets a little bit of will and stops his little run from repeating to go to second place. But
I mean,
Jock Talk itself is 0 for 3. So hopefully next year will be our year, boys.
It's rigged. It's rigged for these real talk and these ex-real talk guys. It's rigged. I'm just
they're on a debate show. They can't lose. They know it.
No, that they always because they know the questions and they know who's going to have to pick for, and whoever they pick these questions that there's no other and me and Jay are victims of this because we believe what we say. We can't sit here. I'm sorry, we can't go against our convictions, and that's me and him both have that issue. And I just couldn't. I don't care if it's for debate for the win. I can't just sit there and lie because I have a 2-year-old daughter. I can't sit there and tell her, "Hey, lie to you." No, you gotta just whatever. So, but the reason is I just think that Jock Talk's a lot better. But yeah, we have Sports Minute tomorrow. We have debates for the rest of the week, and then I want everyone to watch Friday night special Boxed Out. Dude, this guy, Con-Man, he's an analyst.
Oh my God!
He will give you these history lessons at the very end of our show that will teach you something that you didn't know, and the things that these African American players went through in the past. What it just puts your mind sets your mind what these players who paved the way for what these players like the LeBrons and the KDs how they're able to make what these men gave a pathway to what they are. So just pay attention to that as well.
It'll just give you a different respect and perspective on what people went through to play sport and what the passion that we seen on the court was from and why so deep. And again, I mean, for our first time viewers, for viewers that have only watched our show or viewers that first time watching our show, there's content for everybody on this network. Between the ropes, Brandon does as well. They go through the history of wrestling. They go through current wrestling. They talk about it all. I mean, there's something for everyone.
Yep, and then Sunday mornings we got our pregame show, break down the playoff games, which then we'll be transitioning into a baseball show. We don't know. We're kind of throwing out name ideas, but we'll be definitely on there. We had Con-Man on last week, and like Trey says, the guy is full of knowledge, and the way he talks and speaks about how the older athletes paved the way for these younger guys, no doubt is, phenomenal. The guy could do his own show if he really wanted to.
I just want to throw all the shows out there, show you some of it, because a lot of these times you just watch Jock Talk and you don't know these other shows. So that's why I like to give them all love, and it's like how I like to end. So I think we ran out of time.
Yep. Join us next week.
I do want to say this about you, Brennan, real quick. Thank you for moderating this because you are the man. You kind of keep me and Jay at level-headed, and you interrupt whenever we need some refereeing. So
I definitely enjoy it. I'm glad to be a part of this team, and actually, you guys are teaching me a lot about the college game. I kind of fell out of it for a while, so you guys are bringing me back to learning more about who's there and what. So with that being said, join us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Jay, Trey, myself, Nate behind the scenes. Well, I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Later. Peace.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.